If you visit a medical doctor, the doctor's assistants normally ask you to sit in the waiting room, waiting for the doctor to arrive. If you look around, what you see is the stack of magazines that you can decide to thumb through. If you decide to thumb through one of those magazines, what happens is that you might read the story that is written there and understand what the writer wanted to communicate. Or you can look at the pictures and see what the writer wanted you to see without understanding the story that the writer is narrating in that magazine. I think this is similar to what happens when we begin to pursue the careers that we believe are good for us. Hi everyone and welcome to Career Mindset. My name is Sadil Timkul, aka the Doctor of Soul. If you think about the story that I've just narrated, one of the things you may learn about career development is that when we begin our careers, most of the time we find ourselves in a place that looks like the waiting room. Sometimes the waiting room could be the time when you start your internship. In that beginning of your career, sometimes you find yourself not knowing whether you are moving in the right direction or not, depending on the place in which you are at, or depending on the supervisor that you are working under. Sometimes it happens that you are placed even in a department or a division that is giving you work that is not related to what you have studied at the university. In that space, that's when you find yourself in a situation that is similar to the person that is sitting in the waiting room waiting for the medical doctor. Because in your case, in your career, what you're waiting for is an opportunity that is going to help you to grow into becoming the person that you're hoping to be. Whether you are in internship that is giving you the work that is related to what you have studied, or you are in a program that is giving you the work that is not related to what you have studied, you are both in the waiting room, waiting to grow into whatever it is that you think you want to be. But the choice, it is yours to whether you are going to look at the pictures of what you have been given, or you are going to read the words that will help you to understand the mind of the writer. Question: how does that happen? Most of the time, you'd find that you are given work to do, but because you are not yet where you want to be, or maybe you are doing the work that is not related to what you've studied, you start thinking that I don't have to throw myself into this work because it is not what I have studied. If you do that, you're not different from the person who is just looking at the pictures and still expect themselves to understand the mind of the writer. What do I mean by that? There is no way you are going to learn if you are only looking at the pictures. There is no way you're going to get the whole picture of what is expected of you if you're only looking at the pictures. So my thinking is this: if you are given an opportunity, you have an opportunity to look at the pictures and read the words. When you read the words, you're going to get a story. And if you get a story, you're going to understand the mind of the writer. If you understand the mind of the writer, then you're going to be able to write your own story, because now you know how to write a story. Why you now know how to write a story? Because you read the story and you saw the pictures. And it's the same thing that's going to happen in your life. in your career. If you make sure that you learn as much as you can in whatever it is you have been given an opportunity to do, when you have learned to do it, it doesn't matter whether it is something that you have been wanting to do or it is something that is completely different from the things that you want to do. What is important is that you will have the knowledge and you will have the skill. And there is no skill that is a waste. The time spent learning something is never time wasted. The time spent learning something is never a time wasted. Because the knowledge you get from there or the skills you get from there may be usable in what you think you want to do with your life. So it is important to make sure that you maximize the opportunity that you get, even if it's not related to the things that you want to do. Stop looking at the pictures alone if there are words you can read that will help you get the mind of the writer. The moment you read the words and you get to understand the mind of the writer and you look at the pictures, you get the whole story. And that whole story will help you to write your own story. Whether about the thing you are currently doing or the thing you're going to learn in the future. Because time spent learning is never a time wasted. Time spent learning is never time wasted, unless if you do not know how to use the knowledge you learned. Then it may look like it was time wasted. But if you learn even to use the knowledge that you have learned, that knowledge can be used somewhere. That knowledge is going to help you somewhere. Sometimes it might not be in terms of you earning money, but it might help you in conversations that you may want to have with people who are not in the field that you're in, because you now have an understanding of what is happening in other fields that are not related to the one that you are interested in, and you will become a different person. Especially because the world we live in right now requires people who are multi-skilled, people who can think in different ways, people who are able to see things in different angles. That's what makes you more valuable in the marketplace in our days. Thank you.